Hey everybody, thanks for tuning in. This is Josh with 7B Living. Like I mentioned before when I was doing my baking, curing, and smoking, I told you I was going to do a video on making my own pork rinds. So this is the beginning of that video. I've got my skin that I took off of my pork belly ready to go. I just had it in the refrigerator just a couple of days before I decided that I wanted to make the video. It's really easy to do. I've got everything set up. I've got got a sharp knife because you are working with the skin of the pork. So make sure that it's sharp. Even with a sharp knife, it's going to take a little bit of effort to make it through. I've got a boiling pot of water in the back to boil the skins, and I'll show you how to do that. And let's get started. So what I like to do is lay it out lengthwise on my cutting block. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take my knife and I'm going to make about 1.5 inches thick or wide on my strip. And I'm going to take that and I'm just going to run that slice all the way down. As I said before, you need a really nice sharp knife. Because this is the hide, and pig hide is pretty tough, but we're getting through it here pretty easy. So just like that, for instance, I'm going to go through and cut the rest of this up, but I just wanted to show you the next process is I'm just going to take this skin, I'm going to drop it right here in my boiling water. What that's going to do, it's going to break down the fats, any kind of meat that was left on the back side of that hide. And I've got one in here already that I had going on. So I'll take that out. You see it gets kind of jiggly, a little gelatinous. And all you're going to do now is you're going to take that and you're just going to scrape it. You're going to take off all this fat. I grabbed a fork here so it's not so hot on my own hand. So you're just going to take this and you're just going to kind of get all this fat and all this hide, all the fat and the meat right off of that skin. All of it the best that you can. Scrape that right down through. It's pretty easy to identify where the fat is and where the meat is compared to the actual skin. So just take that and just fillet that stuff right off of there. Just like so. Turn it over, do the same on the other side. I'm left-handed, so I confuse a lot of people. Okay, I got a good bit of that off of there now. And then what I want to do is I just want to take them into sections that I can actually put onto my dehydrator. You could leave that on there, but that would make an extremely large piece of pork rind once you go to put this inside your frying oil. So I'm going to cut this into thirds. Like so. You take these pieces that you have here, cleaned up, ready to roll, and then I have my dehydrator right over here in the corner. I'll get this thing all cut up, I'll have them all boiled down, I'll strip them all down with the fat and the meat off of them, and I'll put it all onto my dehydrator. I'll show you when that's all set up and ready to go. I'll get a closer look onto that. And it's pretty much that easy until we're ready for them to be completely dehydrated after about 24 hours, maybe 36, but I doubt it. 24 should be enough to make those things happen. I'll let you know how that updates. And then the next portion of the video, we'll be frying those into some pork rinds. So stay tuned. Alright, so we're at the last process of our stage of making our pork rinds. We're going to deep fry them today. What I've got here is my Fry Daddy. I've got peanut oil in here. Use any kind of oil that you want, your favorite oil. It really doesn't matter. Vegetable oil, olive oil, it doesn't really matter. You could use cast iron on the stove. You could use a pot on the stove. Just make sure your cooking temperature is about 400 degrees. I've got my thermometer in here letting me know that my oil is ready to go. A couple other tools that you're going to need. A basket in order to drop it in there safely so you don't burn yourself. Seasoning wise, I'm choosing to go with some Creole seasoning today, give a little more of a kick. I'm going to do some of them with some garlic powder and some black pepper. Pretty easy to do. Use whatever seasoning you want with your own taste. So I take my little basket here, I put my pieces inside the basket, and then I drop them right inside the oil. Don't do too many of them at a time. You'll find that you have to babysit them a little bit because they're going to get so big that you have to dunk them back into the oil just to make sure that they're getting completely done through and through. You'll see them rise to the surface here pretty quick, and then we'll take our basket and dunk them back into the oil. You want to watch your cook time. Obviously you don't want to overcook them, but you don't want to undercook them either. If you undercook them, they tend to be a little bit chewier. So when you start off your process, judge your own cooking time. taste a couple of them, see if you need to leave them in there a little bit longer. It's pretty easy to do. We'll just take these and hold them up underneath the oil here. This is a pretty easy process to do, throughout the whole entire thing. We use the skin off of our pork belly that we used to make our own bacon. Process didn't take that long. I cut it into strips. If you remember, I boiled the actual skin. We took off all the fats, and then I dehydrated them. And here we are at the last portion of it, the good portion, where we get to eat our snacks. You can see that they stop bubbling after a while, and that's when you can tell that they're pretty well done, when that cooking stage is over. Where's my other one there? Yep, so that looks pretty good. Let's take them out. I put them on my plate with the paper towel. Shake some seasoning on there, let them rest for a while so that oil cools down, and you're going to have yourself a great snack. Hope you enjoyed it. I had fun. You'll find that it's pretty easy, and you'll want to make them more and more after you make your first batch. So have fun, good luck to you, subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you next time.